Welcome. Have a seat. I am happy to see you here again learning more about psychology. But if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Now let's start. Human genetics is the study of inherited traits and characteristics in humans. It is a complex field that involves the examination of the genetic makeup of individuals and how it affects their traits and characteristics, including physical and behavioral characteristics. The human genome is the complete set of genetic instructions found in the cells of the human body. It is made up of DNA, a long molecule with instructions for building and maintaining the human body. Each person's genome is unique, with the exception of identical twins, who have virtually the same genetic makeup. Genes, which are made up of DNA, are the basic unit of heredity. They contain the instructions for making proteins, which are the body's building blocks and are responsible for many of its functions. Genes are found on chromosomes, which are structures in the cell nucleus that contain the genetic material. There are a total of 46 chromosomes in the human genome, arranged in 23 pairs. One chromosome of each pair is inherited from the mother, and the other from the father. The first 22 pairs are called autosomes, and the last pair is called the sex chromosomes. The sex chromosomes determine an individual's sex, with females having 2 copies of the X chromosome, and males having 1 copy of the X chromosome, and 1 copy of the Y chromosome. Genetic variation is the term used to describe the differences in the genetic makeup of individuals within a population. This variation can be caused by mutations, which are changes in the DNA sequence, or by the recombination of genes during sexual reproduction. Genetic variation is important because it allows for the evolution and adaptation of a species. There are several ways that genetic variation can be studied in humans. One way is through the examination of single gene disorders, which are caused by mutations in a single gene. Examples of single gene disorders include cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, and Tay-Sachs disease. Another way to study genetic variation is by examining complex traits, which are traits that are influenced by multiple genes and environmental factors. Examples of complex traits include height, weight, and susceptibility to certain diseases. Genetic testing is the use of laboratory techniques to analyze an individual's DNA in order to detect genetic variations that may be associated with a particular trait or condition. Genetic testing can be used for a variety of purposes, including to diagnose genetic disorders, to predict the likelihood of an individual developing a particular condition, and to determine the likelihood of a child inheriting a particular trait from their parents. Ethical considerations are an important part of the study of human genetics. The use of genetic information can have significant implications for individuals and society, and many ethical issues must be considered when conducting genetic research or using genetic testing. Some of these issues include privacy, informed consent, and the potential for discrimination based on genetic information. In conclusion, human genetics is a complex and fascinating field that studies the inherited traits and characteristics of individuals. It involves the examination of the genetic makeup of individuals and how it affects their traits and characteristics, and it can be used for a variety of purposes, including the diagnosis of genetic disorders, the prediction of the likelihood of developing a particular condition, and the determination of the likelihood of a child inheriting a particular trait from their parents. Ethical considerations are an important part of the study of human genetics and must be taken into account when conducting research or using genetic testing. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions for future content, please don't hesitate to comment and reach out.